Ethiopia's plan for the future, at least for the midterm, until 2025, is to have a green economy. What it means is to more than double our economy, the size of our economy, more than double the per capita income of the country without actually increasing our emissions. So that is what we call a green growth, and that is our target for the 2025. And we hope to continue the target beyond 2025. In fact, increase the ambition beyond 2025.
How are you going to increase the ambition?
Because it assumes keeping emissions at 2010 level assumes a certain size of the economy, right? A middle income economy. But having achieved a middle income economy by 2025, you don't simply stop there, right? You go beyond a middle income economy. You go for a high income economy. And when you go for a high income economy, you are going to embark on a number of economic activities, and those economic activities are going to involve some kind of emissions. Therefore, you need to update your policy, and in that sense, you can increase the ambition of your policy.
Okay, so let's talk about your renewable energy focus. Can you talk about what are some of the aspects of your green growth plan?
Okay.
And what are some of the key technologies that you're using to get there?
Let me start with the first pillar. What we call it the first pillar of our green economy policy. That is on agriculture. We are focusing on agriculture because Ethiopia's economy highly relies on agriculture. It contributes 41% to our GDP, 85% of our population relies on agriculture. And taking 2010 at the baseline, you will find out that 87% of our emissions come from the agriculture sector, from crop production, soil management, and the forestry sector, the livestock sector. So one of our principal focus in the green economy, in our green economy policy, is on agriculture. So what we are going to do is we improve the productivity of agriculture without necessarily increasing the area of land under cultivation. So without deforestation, without losing forests, you can increase the productivity of the agricultural sector. At the moment, we don't have to use complicated technologies. What we do is we need to scale up improved practices in the agricultural sector, improved practices in the management of the soil, and so on. So this is the agriculture sector. And when the second major important pillar of our component of our policy is generation of power from clean and renewable sources. Luckily, we have huge potential, renewable energy potential. The current estimate is that we can produce about 45,000 megawatts from our rivers, about 15,000 megawatts from geothermal resources, significant amount of energy from our wind resources. So by using a combination of this renewable potential, exploiting this potential, we are planning to produce significantly more power. To give you the figure, when we started the plan in 2010, our generating capacity was very limited, about 1,500 or 1,800 megawatts. The plan is, within 5 years, to increase that capacity to 10,000 megawatts. That is from clean and renewable resources. And within 10 years, it's going to be 15,000 megawatts. And in 20 years, it's going to be 20,000 megawatts. And we plan to use that clean energy for our industry, for our growing manufacturing sector. We plan to use it to transform the transport sector as well. So we are trying to switch from roads, fossil fuel transport systems into electric powered railway systems. So that is one major pillar of our energy policy. So the energy policy also supports the transport sector. it reduces emissions from the transport sector. We have started exporting energy to our neighboring countries, Kenya and Sudan. Therefore, we're not only reducing our emissions, we are also helping our neighboring countries reduce our emissions. So these are some of the highlights of our climate policies.
Is it background sound?
I think it's okay, yeah. I think it's okay. If you could come towards me a little bit.
That was really, really great. Really amazing. I really like, so the last point you just said was about the kind of neighboring countries.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit about, let's talk about this plan. Do you think that a plan like this could be relevant or adaptable to other developing countries in your region?
I think so, yeah. Context is important. We don't claim that our policy is universally valid, universally applicable. That policy is valid within our context, right? But we share some context with other countries. For example, one important context in Ethiopia is the fact that we depend on agriculture. We have limited capital, but we can grow our agriculture in order to transition into a more modern economy, right? We share that characteristics with several least developed countries. They depend on agriculture as well. And another important point is that we have a potential in renewable resources. There are countries in Africa which have significantly more potential. For example, in generating power from rivers. The Democratic Republic of Congo has significantly more potential. So to a degree, yes, I believe that this experience in Ethiopia can be transferable. That's my.
That's great. And I guess right now in the negotiations, the long-term goal is seen by many people as critical to the Paris Agreement. Do you support that? Do you think that's long-term?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, climate change, addressing climate change requires, making transformative changes. It requires significant amount of resources, and you have to tap into a number of financial resources, including private sources. You need to channel investments into cleaner energy, into renewable energy, and these are investments which require long period of time for you to recoup your investments. And if you talk to private investors, for example, they will tell you that they need a long-term assurance, and having a longer-term goal in the climate agreement will send out that signal also to the private sector. So you don't have to, it will not be kind of ad hoc process where every 5 years or every number of years you come and renegotiate the whole thing. You need to have that long-term vision that will guide the whole process. Yes, it is important to have that long-term goal, and in the discussion as you follow, such kind of discussions, such kind of scenario analysis will be very useful to kind of formulate and reach a consensus around the long-term goal.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was very great.